This may be longer than my previous videos, but it contains information that is to the point. When I started writing, I couldn't stop, so please take your favorite snack along with it. So, you watched the thumbnail and clicked on this video. This means that you are living in the past on some day, and it is because you made a mistake in the past that has tightly bound you in regret and guilt. This one thing has trapped you in a trap of feeling low emotions, and thus creating a low concept of yourself in your own eyes, and manifesting it in your reality. And you keep wondering, what if there was a Control+C key in real life? What if there was an eraser that could erase that one single scene and free me from my mistakes? If I could get one chance, I would never commit this, and you begin living in your own created world of self-hate. Mistakes are a learning opportunity for growth because, from a common man's perspective, only the future matters. Many of them live in the hopes of the future, but for a spiritual man, the past and present are one and exist concurrently. This may come as a surprise to some, but others understand what I mean. Man and his past are one continuous structure. This structure contains all of the facts which have been conserved and still operate below the threshold of his surface mind. For you, the past may be a history that cannot be altered, but the past in itself is living and manifesting itself in the present and future. This may sound astonishing, so let me give you a very simple and clear explanation of what is being said about revision, imagination, and their role in manifestation in the book The Law and the Promise. If you pay attention, you will realize that you are forming assumptions and beliefs based on your day-to-day experiences. You are imagining things first in your mind about how they are, and then experiencing them. Imagination is working in two ways, one being in a conservative manner, and the other being in a transformative manner. The conservative aspect of imagination shows us that it is manifesting based upon the images provided by memory and your physical senses. The activities you perform from day to night, the things you experience from day to night, are all registered by the senses and manifest themselves continuously unless you consciously change them. Your past memories are also acting in the same manner. They are providing the visual scenes for your imagination. Something you did in the past has shaped your reality and is manifesting itself in numerous ways. These can be good memories or bad memories. From a general point of view, a common man sees it as only a memory, something that has nothing to do now, but he is still telling the world that he is like this because of his past. Yes, on the one hand, he is saying it does not matter, and on the other hand, he is defining himself as the product of his past. However, if you become aware, you will notice that the conservative aspect of your imagination is at work. That is why the phone you are holding today is with you tomorrow. The bed you slept on yesterday is still in your room. The car you used to travel is still in your possession. We should praise this aspect as it conserves our past creations. Everyone lives by this aspect, but the majority does not believe in the other, which is why they are unaware of the law of creation. They have very strong opinions on everything, and thus keep on experiencing them from time to time. It is due to too much intellect and too little emotions. The conservative aspect, in simpler terms, is what you are unconsciously manifesting. I hope you now have clarity on the conservative aspect of imagination, and that it has alleviated any doubts you may have had. Now, let's get clear about the transformative aspect of imagination. It is the most discussed concept in the manifestation community. Whether you are here from the law of attraction, the law of assumption, or some other law, this is the aspect of imagination that every channel is discussing. This is the aspect that every coach is discussing. This aspect is heavily discussed in self-development books. Dr. Joe Dispenza, Joseph Murphy, Neville Goddard, Florence Scovel Shinn, Bob Proctor, and many others are just clarifying you about this aspect of mine. Now, what is the transformative aspect of your imagination? It is very simple. The imaginal acts you perform persistently become your reality. The thoughts you keep on thinking become real to you. The affirmations you repeat are what you become. Persistent assumptions harden into facts. This is the aspect that is told to you by everyone when you look for manifestation videos. Don't believe it. Just go and search for it. Look at it and you will see what others are trying to communicate. Now, you no longer will have doubts that if we are manifesting everything through imagination, then why certain things in our life happen. Why you got an award when you were not consciously manifesting it. Maybe you saw a celebrity receiving an award, and you fell in love with that thing to such an extent that it manifested for you. The conservative aspect did it for you. Your conscious mind has very little control. Your subconscious mind is the storehouse for the majority of what you are. That is why you experience things that you term as good or bad. Don't live in fear about what might happen if you read a news article or hear someone saying bad about another. Instead of getting worried, lift them up in your imagination. If fights are going on in your environment, don't be like, what I have heard or seen will manifest in the future. Just revise it. Do a noble cause and imagine the couple hugging and talking nicely. Life will always be full of ups and downs because it wants a thrill. It can't be like stagnant water, but it will keep flowing. Stagnant water is the house for diseases and infections. So, simply live your life fully, and it will show you abundance. I hope this clarifies both aspects of the imagination. Let me give an example to those who will dislike the video by saying, you know what, even if I do what you are telling me, it won't change the mind of another. I had a really terrible fight with them and whatnot. So, stop here. Close your eyes and think of a balloon. Write it down in the comments section so everyone gets clarity. Describe it in 3 words or more. For me, it was a small water balloon of orange color that I used to throw at my friends when playing with them in the month of March. Which one did you get? An air balloon with a string. The blue one you blew out of your mouth. Or a hot air balloon in which you go on a date with your love. Now, with this very simple activity, you got to know that a balloon is perceived by me in a different manner, and for you it is different, and for others it is something else altogether. But wait, how is this all related to the fight I had with another? Well, the fight started when you said to her, thick hoe. She thought, how can he call me that? How can he abuse me? While on the other hand, the boy was Indian and was asking if you are all right. For my American friends out there, in Hindi, thick hoe means if you are all right. We even use this to talk to our elders. Some of my Indian friends are now smiling because of this dark meme. Look closely. Can you see how this all changed the meaning? One person had a completely different view and the other had a completely different one. Both evoke different emotions in each other. It can become a situation where both of them develop hate, and it would be the biggest mistake of their lives. It is just an example. So, how can you now revise for this big fight? Well, you can start imagining some other scene where you said something else that was completely different and led towards a happy ending. You can imagine anything that you want because it is you who are feeling bad about it. The main point of revision is to change a scenario in such a specific manner that it relieves you from it. It makes you feel light and easygoing. The whole point of manifesting is to feel complete within, so that it reflects that back in your 3D reality. Even if someone did something wrong, just look at it from a third point of view. Just get aware of all of this. Who is suffering? Who is experiencing pain? Is that you, my friend? Are you the one holding on to the hate? It is not because of the acts or circumstances that changed you. It is the meaning that you held regarding it that changed you. I have read somewhere, and I completely agree with it. It says, it's better to end a story on a good note, in case it cannot be brought to a logical end. In such cases, revision comes into play. You revise what you did, how others responded to you, and what the circumstances were, and trust me, it will give you tremendous results. It would be extremely easy as well, because the scenario you are trying to change already exists in your mind. It would be easy to visit them, but the next time you visit, be sure to change them the way you want them to be. Repeat it multiple times. It will feel natural to you after some time, and when you are doing this, something is shifting and making it happen. You are changing the life path that you are on into a beautiful journey. It will be a new memory that your conservative aspect of imagination will manifest. Furthermore, scientific studies have concluded that no one knows exactly what happened at a particular time. We only remember what we have told another the last time. It is like a Chinese whisper game. When you do it repeatedly, maybe it will clear up the guilt that you have held onto for a long time. Now that you have cleared up that emotion, you start raising your self-concepts. You start meeting some really attractive people, and now you are comfortable opening up to them. Things will start going smoothly. Right now, a funny story from my past have come to my mind about a person who hurted me in many ways. She was a big liar, and one evening she was with someone, and she missed my calls. I started having some doubts. Upon her return, she told me that she was with her friend, having food and chilling. I noticed that her lipstick was smudged, and upon questioning, she was like, well, I was having a drink and I think that it might be because of it. I felt hurt, and the next moment she showed me a really expensive gift that her male friend gave her. I got hurt, felt bad, and held on to that. I became a victim, and I started looking at myself as someone with low self-concepts. I held on to the anger and hate. I stopped talking to her. Later, I read about this concept of revision and revised this incident. I revised it to the extent that she didn't get that expensive gift and she wasn't with that guy. This is the scene that I remember. I performed it to erase that. Was I successful in it? Yes, to some extent, because after doing it, within 15 minutes, she called me after many days and said that she was missing me, she loves me, and she wanted to hang out with me. She sounded like she is sorry. Then I met her, and the next thing I heard from her was that she was planning to sell that product. And I was like, wow, it works. Later, I stopped pursuing her because I didn't feel right. I started working on my self-concept. I revised the instances where I felt like a victim. Now, I don't feel the need to talk to her or know where she is. I am completely fine with it. Can you see how easily I am telling you the story? It once happened and I felt terrible, but now I am laughing while writing this. I think you got the gist of it. Now the next question would be, but you remember the scene that happened at that time? It was not a complete revision. Yes, honey, it is not a complete revision as I completely left her altogether. I didn't feel the need to revise her past actions, but I revised the concepts of myself, not the acts done by her. I did it, and by God's grace, I am now completely fine and have never encountered such big liars after that incident. Now, I am revising the starting point of where my story with that person started. I am cutting it like a woodcutter cuts a branch. Let's see what shows up. It feels like a game. Enjoy it. Don't become too logical because you need to get rid of those emotions. Maybe I will discuss what happens in the future video. Maybe I will not. But that does not matter to you because you are the star of your own movie. You must focus and change the events that you felt made you act like a victim, even if it was a mistake of another, as in my case, because the reality is that we are all one. Any changes we make get transmitted to another by the principle of thought transmission. To conclude, you have to revise the events that made you feel like a victim. Maybe your diseases will vanish with it, because diseases are suppressed negative emotions. I hope you got the clarity you needed from this video. If that is the case, do subscribe for more such videos. I will meet you tomorrow with another golden nugget. Happy manifesting.